Hello, I'm Gordon from Camera Labs, and this is the SanDisk Extreme Portable SSD, a rugged, pocket-sized drive that connects to new and old USB ports and exploits the size, speed and robustness of solid-state storage. It works with Macs and PCs and is available in 4 models from 250GB to 2TB. I tested the smallest 250GB model, although the performance is essentially the same across all 4. At the time I made this video, the 500GB model cost only a little bit more than the 250GB version, so it makes sense to go for that one instead of the smallest one. You're looking at about £99 or $99 for that 500GB version. However, the 1TB version seems to represent the biggest value or the best value at the time I filmed this. You're looking at about £179 or $179 for that model, and I've got links to check the latest prices in the comments and the description below. Portable drives are invaluable for backing up your data, transferring large files or collections, or simply freeing up space on a full computer so you can get on with your project. I've long used a collection of portable drives with traditional mechanical hard disks inside, as they offer high capacities at a low price. The Western Digital My Passport 4TB, for example, costs roughly the same as the 500GB SanDisk Extreme Portable SSD, but gives you around 8 times more storage for your money. If you simply want to carry around the most data at the lowest price, you simply can't beat a hard disk. But while SSDs are more expensive than hard disks, they offer a number of important benefits. Most obviously, they're much smaller and lighter, with the SanDisk Extreme Portable SSD able to fit discreetly into almost any pocket. Secondly, with an absence of moving parts, they're more robust and better equipped to handle knocks or even small drops. Third, they're much faster, typically 2 to 4 times quicker depending on the task and when using the latest USB ports. It's the combination of all 3 of these factors which can make them more compelling for many jobs, and in this video I'll discuss how an SSD drive benefits my workflow as a photographer and a video editor. I'll start with the physical side. The SanDisk Extreme Portable SSD really is very small, measuring just 50mm wide, 96mm tall and just under 9mm thick. That's narrower than a credit card and small enough to squeeze into any pocket, and weighing just under 40 grams, you really won't notice it either. Much of what differentiates one portable SSD from another is the case and finish, and SanDisk has sensibly chosen a rubberized shell with rounded corners that feels comfortable in your hands or, again, in a pocket. There's also a handy cutout allowing you to attach it to a key ring or hang it from a carabiner or a D-ring. Most usefully of all though is the IP55 rating for water resistance. Now before you get too excited, you can't submerge the drive in water and expect it to survive, but it should shrug off mild splashes, rain or moisture, so long as you're careful to not expose the port. It also offers reasonable protection against shock and vibration, and again, while it's not invincible, it will better protect your data from knocks and small drops than a mechanical hard disk. Like all modern portable drives, there's just one USB port that's used to transfer the data and power the drive. SanDisk has again sensibly opted for a USB-C port and supplies a short USB-C to USB-C cable in the box, short to maintain the fastest speeds. For backwards compatibility with older style ports, SanDisk also supplies a USB-C to USB-A adapter in the box with arrow markings to ensure it's connected the right way round. In terms of speed, the port on the device supports USB 3.1 Gen 2, which provides more than enough bandwidth for the drive to operate at its top speeds, although of course your host may be the limiting factor, especially if it's using older USB ports. SanDisk proudly quotes speeds up to 550 megabytes per second on the box, which I came close to measuring in my tests, at least under ideal conditions. Remember, for the best performance you'll need to connect it to a USB port on your computer that supports USB 3.1 Gen 2 speeds, and that includes all of the USB-C ports on a modern Mac. When connected to my 2018 13-inch MacBook Pro, the Blackmagic Disk Speed Test utility measured over 480 megabytes per second for writes and over 525 megabytes per second for reads, which is very good and roughly 4 times faster than the speeds I measured from the WD My Passport 4TB drive. This confirms the performance benefit over a traditional mechanical hard disk. The speed was also confirmed in my real-life tests where I timed the transfer of a 2.99GB folder containing 177 JPEG and RAW images. Using the WD My Passport 4TB drive, it took 44 seconds to write the files from my Mac, then 28 seconds to read them back again after a restart to clear out any caching. Compare that to the 14 seconds it took to write the same folder onto the SanDisk Extreme SSD and the mere 7 seconds to read them back again. Around 4 times quicker when connected to a USB 3.1 Gen 2 port. I then tried the drive on an older PC running Windows 10 using Crystal DiskMart to measure the speed. When connected to a USB 3 Gen 1 port, I measured read and write speeds of around 270 megabytes per second, roughly double that I measured on the same system from the WD My Passport 4TB drive. Clearly the port on my older PC was proving a bottleneck for the new drive, but be careful because many PCs also have a bunch of even older USB 2 ports, where I measured the speeds falling to around 40 megabytes per second. The moral, of course, is to ensure you connect the device to your fastest ports for the best performance. But if you have an older computer which only has old USB 2 ports, you may still prefer having an SSD for its size and robustness, even if you won't benefit from the speed. As a photographer, I loved using the Extreme Portable SSD as a compact, robust and fast backup device. Typically at the end of a day's shooting, I would take the contents of my memory card or cards, copy them onto my laptop and then make a duplicate copy onto the SSD. And then if I was going to be going out with the laptop later on or another day, I would keep that backup on the drive separate. I'd put it in a hotel safe or somewhere else. And that would mean that if I lost the laptop or it got broken or stolen, then I would have a backup of those images and videos or whatever other content I was recording. I would have that safe in that different location. It's critical to do that. But of course, it's something that many of us, or I'll just speak for myself, it's something that I have certainly neglected doing in the past when I've been stuck with slower drives. If it's going to take 10 minutes or longer to do a backup, you may think twice about doing it, especially if you have to nip back out again for a meeting. But if it's only taking a matter of seconds or less than a minute to do so, well then there's no excuse not to do it. And the great thing about this drive being so robust is that I never felt that I had to treat it with kid gloves. I could literally just chuck it into a bag or a pocket and I'd be good to go. As a video editor, I often find myself having to deal with giant folders full of tens or even hundreds of gigabytes of data, especially when you're filming 4K videos, and that will quickly consume the internal storage on your laptop. Suddenly that low storage, low disk space warning pops up and you can't even work on your project, let alone rendering it out. Now, the way I've dealt with this in the past is to literally shift off folders full of assets or footage that I'm not currently working on onto slower portable mechanical drives or onto network storage, but it can take so long. It's really very frustrating, especially when you're on a deadline, you just want to get on with that video and render it out. Well, now thanks to the Extreme Portable SSD, I can do that. I can connect it to my laptop and the speed's so fast that I can copy huge folders to and from it at great speed. I recently did a video where the assets totaled 91 gigabytes. That was just a typical 15-minute 4K review. But I copied that from the SSD drive back onto my laptop when I was ready to edit it in around 3 minutes, just under 3 minutes in fact, which confirmed that top read speed of 550 megabytes per second. It's just so quick to do that. You can happily just shift a folder over there onto the drive to free up some space and then shift it back again when you finish that project. In fact, the really interesting thing about this drive is that it's so fast, you can actually use it during the project editing. You can store common assets on that you're using on multiple projects. You could even store an entire project on it and work over that connection. I've also used it to output a final render again when I was running out of space on the main laptop. So as a video editor, it's given me enormous flexibility and it's allowed me to work much faster and meet those deadlines. Although again, to appreciate that performance and to enjoy those speeds, you will have to connect it to a USB 3.1 Gen 2 port. Wherever I worked, I also liked how the drive was small and light enough to happily dangle from the end of its cable without demanding a flat desk space to rest on. You can even pick up your laptop with it still dangling without troubling the drive or damaging your ports. It's so convenient when you're literally working off your lap in a cafe or on a plane or a train and you need to get up or move around. Backing up your data, whether it's photos, videos, music or plain old documents, is critically important, and a crucial part of the process is transporting the backup to a different location. After all, fire, flood and theft will rarely take one drive but leave the backup next to it unharmed. This is why portable drives are so useful. They can store and transport a large quantity of data quickly and easily. Just one USB cable will transfer the data and power the drive, and once complete, they're small enough to slip into a jacket or even a trouser pocket. Their portability also makes them great for providing more storage for laptop owners who have filled their internal drives but aren't ready for a system upgrade quite yet. The SanDisk Extreme Portable SSD quickly found itself part of my workflow thanks to its speed, size and robustness, all of which meant I never had an excuse not to use it. In fact, when connected to a fast USB-C port on my Mac, it felt more like expanding the internal storage rather than plugging in an external drive. You can quite happily use it as a temporary boost in workspace for a big project rather than just considering it a backup device. That said, I haven't retired my old slower portable hard drives just yet. My 4TB passport drives remain in service at home, backing up large amounts of data before relocating them to different locations, but I no longer travel with them. The more compact, tougher and faster Extreme Portable SSD has become my go-to backup device when I'm out and about, not to mention a convenient way to boost the storage on my laptop when I'm working on big video projects. Now the low disk space warning no longer means I'm out of action. I can highly recommend it. Right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You know what I'm going to ask you to do next. If you found any of it useful, please give me a like, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe, as it really does help this channel grow. If you're interested in buying the SanDisk Extreme Portable SSD, there's links below to check the prices. And as always, if you found it really useful, you can treat me to a coffee or something harder if you think I need it. Or of course, treat yourself to my in-camera book. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.